This is another video simplifying trig expressions using those fundamental trig identities. And there are two examples in this video. So the first example we have is the cotangent of x divided by the cosecant of x. We want to use our identities. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and break apart this fraction into two pieces. So I have the cotangent of x, that's this piece, times 1 over the cosecant of x. So I'm just separating the fraction out into two separate pieces. Then I'm going to rewrite the cotangent of x as the quotient identity. So the cotangent of x as the quotient identity is the cosine of x over the sine of x. So this is the quotient identity. Then 1 over the cosecant of x is the same thing as the sine of x, and the reason why is that's the reciprocal identity. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and throw a 1 underneath here. You don't have to do that 1. It just makes it a little easier to see that you have two fractions. Now what happens is the sine of x and the sine of x will cancel out, and you're left with the cosine of x. So in simplified form. Here's our second example. We have the secant of theta times the sine of theta over the tangent of theta. So what I'm going to try and do is convert everything over to sines and cosines. So I'm going to take this piece and use the reciprocal identity. The secant as a reciprocal identity is 1 over the cosine of theta. So this is my reciprocal identity. Then I'm going to separate out this fraction into two pieces. So now I have the sine of theta over 1, and I'm going to have 1 over the tangent of theta. So I have it in two separate pieces. Now I'll continue. I'm going to convert that 1 over tangent of theta as a reciprocal identity. So I'm going to leave the red and the green alone. So I'm going to give myself some room. So this is still 1 over the cosine of theta. This is sine of theta over 1. And then 1 over the tangent of theta is the same thing as cotangent of theta. And how I find this is the reciprocal identity. Alright, next step. Again, I'm going to leave the red and the green alone. So 1 over the cosine of theta, sine of theta over 1. And then I'm going to change that cotangent of theta to all sines and cosines using the quotient identity. That is the cosine of theta divided by the sine of theta. So this is the quotient identity for the cotangent. Now what I have are three fractions, and some things are going to start to cancel. What cancels is this cosine of theta and that cosine of theta, because I have one in the numerator and one in the denominator. Then this sine of theta and that sine of theta cancel, because I have one in the numerator, one in the denominator. So what I'm left with, after I'm all done, is just the number 1 as my final answer.